Good morning, good morning. Okay, that's enough singing. These are the notes that I'm starting off first with. Welcome to 1-4 Midpoint. So, these are the notes. So, I'm going to go 1A. Y'all know the alphabets. So, I start with 1A, and we're going to go to 1F. Then we're going to start with 2A, go to 2E. Y'all know how to do the alphabets. We all smart up in here. We're high schoolers. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. We're high schoolers. Thank you. So midpoint. A little bit about midpoint. It is literally self-explanatory. Midpoint, the middle, right? The middle. So let's take, for example, let's say we're going from Birmingham all the way to Huntsville, right? Anyone who drives the speed limit knows that takes an hour and 30 minutes if you drive the speed limit. Midpoint is telling me what's the halfway point. So anyone who knows from Birmingham to Huntsville, the midway point, which is 45 minutes out from Huntsville, is in Coleman. And Coleman is about 45 minutes. So it takes 45 minutes to get to Coleman from Birmingham, and it will take 45 minutes from Coleman to get to Huntsville. That is midpoint. Okay? That is midpoint. So, with that part established, when it comes to finding midpoints, we're going to focus on number line first before we do graph-wise midpoint. So number line midpoint, to find the midpoint of a number line, you have to add the two numbers together and divide by 2. So you can have A plus B divided by 2. All right? So, you do A, B, D, C, right? You're going to add these two numbers, and you're going to divide by 2. So I like to use numbers. So let's go ahead and pick some numbers before I do the actual problem. Let's see, our smallest number is 2, 4, we're going to just say 6, 8. I need to know what's the midpoint between from 2 to 8. So I'm going to have 2 plus 8 divided by 2. 2 plus 8 is 10, and 2 can go into 10 5 times. So the midpoint from 2 to 8, between 2 to 8 is 5, right here. X marks the spot. That is simple. Now, let's go ahead and get to doing the problems. Now, on this piece of paper, I went ahead and labeled them. I went ahead and named the points, right? I went ahead and named them. So, as I'm up here writing 1A, and I picked my two numbers, I bet because I already put it down. So, you need to do the same thing. Okay? So, 1A was already solved for us. So, it says the midpoint of PQ. Well, I know P has the value of negative 16, and Q has the value of 6, right? So, there's going to be negative 16 plus 6 divided by 2. To find the midpoint, you have to add these two numbers and divide by 2. So, you owe someone $16. You give them $6. You owe them $10 more. Just from our example, 2 can go into negative 10, negative 5 times. Just as right there on the paper. That's your answer. So we're going to try 1B. It says QT, line segment QT. Okay? I'm going to start off doing this type of template. I'm going to start us off doing this. Once we get to 2 and 3, it's gone. We just get into it because we have already established how to do it. So I want to go ahead and tell me my Q in this example is 6. My T is 26, right? So that means I'm going to have 6 plus 26 divided by 2. That is midpoint. Midpoint is in the middle. It's the halfway point. All right, half, if you don't remember, is represented as 1 over 2. If you don't know this, write it down, because it's going to help you. Okay? So, 26 plus 6 will give us 32. Divided by 2. 2 can go into 32 16 times. Okay? Now, we got that part? Okay. Onward to the next. Copy that down so you know. Okay, next comes 1C. 1C says line segment RS. That is a. What's not focus? What's going on? What's that? There we go. What was it doing? Come on, camera. I got time for this. Okay, RS. R is -4. S is 12. So, we have 12. Well, we're going to have -4 plus 12 divided by 2. So we have -4 plus 12 divided by 2. So you have $12, right? And you spend $4. That means you have $8 left. And so using our big, bold, beautiful brains, yes ma'am, yes sir, we know 2 can go into 8 4 times. So the midpoint between R and S, okay, R and S is 4, okay? The midpoint between R and S is 4. So we're going to work with 1D. 1D, it says RU. All right? So we know R from up here is -4. And we know U is the value, if I U, is 20. So you have -4 plus 20 divided by 2. You have $20. You spend $4. Now, if you have $20 and you spend $4, you have $16. So, basic multiplication. Ooh, I wrote that. Basic multiplication and division. I know 2 times 8 will give me 16. So 2 can go into 16 8 times. So the midpoint for RU is 8. This is fairly simple, fairly easy. Let's see, 1E. Y'all can see? Okay, good. 1E says VR. I know V has the value of -10, and I know R has the value, right here, of -4. So you're going to have -10 minus 4 divided by 2. How that's read? You owe, let me put it this way. Your brother owe you $10. Now he owe you $4 more. How much money do he owe you? Run him his money, run him his coins. He owe you $10, now he owe you $4 more. He owe you $14. And we know half of -14 is -7 because a negative divided by a positive is a negative. Thank you. Okay? So, let me raise this one. 1F. Now, we have VQ. We know V from this over here is -10. And we know Q, let me find Q, is 6. So we're going to have -10 plus 6 divided by 2. You owe your brother $10. You owe him $10. Now you give him $6. So you owe him 10, you give him 6, you owe him $4. You owe him. If you owe somebody money, it is always a negative. If you owe somebody money, it is always a negative. So we already know half of -4 is -2. So the midpoint between VQ is -2. And if you want to, you can just count it all out and do the same math. But this is the short way. So that's part 1. I'm going to upload part 2 and 3, or question 2 and 3, in another video. But that's all for this video.